This is the plaintiff, Sherry Walski. She says she was out walking her dog one day when the reckless defendant came barreling down the street in his car, speeding around the bend and ran over her dog. She screamed, "Stop." Her dog was caught underneath the defendant's car, suffering extensive internal injuries, and the operations cost $6,000. Luckily, her dog survived, but the defendant refuses to pay her $6,077.75 vet bill, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Charles Hardy. He says he was driving in his neighborhood at the posted speed limit of 10 miles per hour and never saw the plaintiff's dog because it was on one of those long, retractable leashes. He was very upset when he realized his car rolled over the dog as he was going through the intersection. But it wasn't his fault. The lady let the dog's leash out too far. It's her fault he ran into the street, and that's why he owes nothing. He's accused of causing a doggy dilemma.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant ran over her dog and the damage was extensive. The defendant says the dog was on a very long retractable leash, so it wasn't his problem. It's the case of rolling over Rover.
Thank you, Douglas. Sherry Walski?
Yes.
You are suing Charles Hardy for $6,077.75 in vet bills that you incurred as a result of what you say was his negligence.
That is correct.
Tell me what happened.
I was walking my dog on the evening of September 29th through a mobile home park around the corner from my house, and I could hear before I even saw the defendant's vehicle, because he has a dog that he lets bark excessively out the window, and so I realized who it was, and I grabbed the leash and restrained the leash of the dog, and we continued to walk.
How far was your dog from you?
Probably about a foot and a half.
12 inches to 18 inches away from you. Mm-hmm. Okay, go on.
Okay, and then so as we still proceeded to walk, and then all of a sudden I looked down and my dog was caught underneath his wheels, and he
What do you mean all of a sudden you missed the part about the actual running over the dog? How did it happen?
He was that close to us as we were walking along, and the dog got caught underneath the wheels of the vehicle as we were walking along.
He ran over the dog?
Yes.
The dog got caught underneath the wheels because the dog ran under the car, or the car ran over the dog would be dead?
No, because the speed of the car, it wasn't that fast. And
you said he came, okay, how fast was he going?
Well, when he pulled into the trailer park, I mean, it wasn't fast enough for the dog to actually die, but there was extensive damage to the dog.
How fast was he going?
Well, it goes from 30 miles an hour to 10 miles an hour, so maybe 10, 20. I mean, it's a small dog. I can show you pictures of the dog.
You felt he was going too fast?
Yes.
Yeah, let me see the pictures of the dog.
Okay.
What'd you do?
I yelled for him to stop, and at that time he did stop, and he got out, and he said to me at that time that he did not see myself or the dog, and I was able to get the dog out from underneath the vehicle.
How did you get the dog out from?
The
dog wasn't under tires or anything like that. The dog was hit by the.
It was more like a tumbling. She did a tumbling motion, and
okay. What kind, was he driving a truck or a car?
A truck, an SUV.
And she's so small. Okay. Mm-hmm. What kind of dog is your dog?
It's a puggle. It's a pug beagle mix.
This dog
She's
is
a member
so
of our family.
cute.
Thank you.
I very seldom have dog envy. That's not true, Sammy, if you're watching. All right. So is this after or before the accident?
That's before. And I do have after pictures.
All right. What happened to the dog?
The dog ended up with, it wasn't a bloody incident, but there was a lot of internal injuries. Right. There was fractures on both her left and her right, and there was severe nerve damage on the left side of her hip that the vet didn't think they'd be able to repair.
How'd you get the dog out from underneath? It wasn't pinned.
It was more like...
It wasn't pinned. The dog wasn't pinned under the car.
No, she was not.
Okay.
Okay, so I got her to move.
Well, what was he saying while this was going on? What did the defendant say?
Well, he patted the dog and he said, "I'm sorry, this has never happened. I didn't see you. I didn't realize you were there." And so I was trying to remain calm despite the fact that I just saw my dog get run over.
What did you say to him?
I said, "It's okay. You know, she's going to be okay. I'm going to call my husband.
In your complaint, you say that he was going too fast and that he couldn't hear or be aware of his surroundings because he had a dog that he was allowing to bark excessively.
Yes, he has a beagle that he
bothering
lets-
other people.
Yes.
And if the guy ran over your dog, you were very calm and you were. When did you become uncalm and angry at him? When you got the vet bill and it was $6,000 something dollars?
No, I was trying to stay calm, and because I had to go home and explain it to my teenage daughter, who was pretty hysterical at that time, what had happened, because she was just fearful that our dog was going to die.
Right. All right. Now, as it turns out, the dog needed extensive surgery, I guess?
Yes. The next day we
Two
went
hip surgeries?
Yes.
And you were very happy with the medical services of the vet?
Yes.
Because you felt that the dog wouldn't have survived?
Probably. We were wondering, and even the vet, when we went back for a recheck, they were they were, pretty
very
happy.
pleasantly surprised at the results.
At the progress that she has made,
right.
yes.
Well, good. I'm very glad to hear that. But then you're stuck with a $6,077.75 bill.
Yes.
Okay. How's the dog doing now?
She's doing better.
And did you have pictures that you wanted to show me after that?
After. And I also have some pictures of the street where the accident took place.
All right. What happened?
Your Honor, I was coming home and I took a right turn onto Valley Drive. I was doing much less than 10 miles an hour. I had my foot off the accelerator. I had my dog in the car. The dog was harnessed to the passenger seat, still had the leash on him. We had just come back from a walk at the airport. And I saw her.
You go to the airport to walk your dog.
Yes, ma'am.
And she goes to your neighborhood to walk hers. Okay.
On Sundays, yes, the airport's not busy and it's a large lot. It's good for his claws. So I walk him every Sunday, up Saturday and Sunday. During the week when I'm working.
It's fine. It's fine. I
take him
just
to
thought it was funny.
neighborhood.
Okay, go ahead.
It is. So I made the corner and I observed this lady standing in my yard.
Is she actually in your yard?
Yes, there's no fences or the street ends, the grass begins. There's no sidewalk or shoulder on the road.
Okay, and is she on the grass or is she in the street?
Yes, she's on the grass.
Okay.
To the best of my recollection, she's on the grass. There's a line of Christmas trees right there that separate my yard from my neighbor's.
Right.
Who's at the very corner. And obviously the dog was behind the first tree and I didn't see the dog, so I didn't know she had a dog with her.
How close did you come to her?
Not at all. She had stopped in the yard. She was still standing in the yard.
So how many feet from her was your car?
I was out on the road, 5 feet, 3 to 5 feet maybe.
She claims that the dog was 12 inches from her.
I can't be sure of that, in all honesty. I can't
believe it, because if the dog is 12 inches from you, 12 to 18 inches, I would read in your complaint that the car almost hit you. Well, I mean, if a car has the dog on, you have to realize what you're saying. You're here, the dog is here.
Exactly.
And the dog is underneath his car. That means that the car almost hit you, which you've never said. Right. Ever. Right. I think that you're trying to paint it as though your retractable leash wasn't extended. But it kind of sounds like maybe your retractable leash was doing its thing. I don't understand retractable leashes to begin with. The whole idea behind a leash is that you want to be able to control your dog.
Exactly.
Control your dog from attacking someone, control your dog from being attacked, control your dog from running away, control your dog from running into traffic, control your dog. That's the idea, because that's the law, is that you need to control your dog. This whole concept of these retractable, all I ever see is someone here chatting and then a dog 20 feet away on what, that's not the situation here. It's not 20 feet, but it has to have been more than 12 or 18 inches, ma'am, because there's no way physically the accident can happen how you're describing.
So how long should a retractable leash be maximum?
I think 5 feet.
Why do you say 5?
Because for safety for the people around, just to control the...
So the idea is control of the dog?
And be in charge of the dog too. Over 5 feet, it's unmanageable.
Fair enough. Okay, 5 feet. I think just legally, by the way, you're really close. Going inside the courtroom.
After you get out of the car, what happens? When do you realize that you've hit the dog?
When I heard her scream, I felt at the same time the right front wheel. Yes.
You felt what?
The right front wheel hitting something, and it turned out to be the dog. I heard the dog yelping, and I stopped right away. I offered to help any way I could. I didn't know what I could do, if anything.
Are you apologizing? Is she apologizing? What's happening? Everybody's apologizing? What's going on?
I was sorry it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was apologizing, sure. I hit the dog. I was
Right,
behind
I
the
know.
wheel of my own car, I would hit the dog. I wasn't speeding, driving recklessly. I wouldn't do that. I lived there since 2009. I know what this...
Well, how fast could you be going? That's your house. That's where you're stopping. That's where you're
my
going to turn.
driveway is the
Right.
second one. I stopped just at the edge of my driveway and left my car in the street until she left. She told me that the dog had never done this before, so she doesn't understand why this happened. And maybe she had let out a little too much leash because
She said that to you?
when I stopped the car, she was actually closer to my right rear tail light. And as far as I knew, the dog was ahead of my car.
Okay. Did she say to you that phrase that you said did she say to you, maybe I let out too much leash?
She says, I think I might have, well, I don't know if I'm using her exact words,
That's
but it
all
had
right.
to
Give
do
me
with
the
the
gist.
leash. And she said maybe he had too much leash. She had too much leash. She has never done this before.
Did you say that phrase to him?
I did not. I would never.
Did you have a retractable leash?
Yes.
All right. Listen, I am really sorry that this happened to your dog. I am really happy that, although I know this was a huge financial hit, I'm really happy. It was obviously worth it. This is a member of your family, as you say many times. And, there was no option. You'll delay the family vacations, the new car, the whatever else you would have done with that money to have this dog happy, healthy, and in your home as you have. But based on what I'm hearing, I can't order him. You have to be able to prove to me by a preponderance of the evidence that his negligence caused the damage. The man what's he doing? He's on the street where he's supposed to be.
Right.
I understand there's no sidewalks there and whatever else, but it is what it is. That's where you chose to walk your dog, in a street. He's driving. I don't think there's any evidence he was speeding. You say he was, but I don't think there's any evidence to support what you're saying. It's your word against his. And the guy's at his house, so he's not speeding because he's going to his house. He's there. He's done driving. Okay? You tell me that it's 12 to 18 inches away. I think you're trying to make the case better for yourself, because I would have heard you say, either in your complaint to the court or in the complaint that you had to draft for the People's Court, I would have read somewhere the phrase, he almost hit me, which I'm not reading anywhere. And if your dog is underneath his car, 12 inches away from you, you would have said that. The dog wasn't that close to you. It was too much leash in a street where cars are supposed to be. So no, I'm fine in favor of the defendant.
All right, both sides, please.
And so the gavel comes down on the side of the defendant here. The plaintiff steps into the hallway. And so what's going through your mind here? You don't look that thrilled.
Well, I'm still, my concern was always the dog, not so much me. And
Well, fortunately, that turned out for the best, right?
Right.
That part of it. And that's the main thing.
Right.
So what are you going to do now to make sure this doesn't ever happen again?
Be more careful where I decide to walk her.
All right, right this way here. All right, so come on in here, sir. And how do you feel about how this comes out?
I have to abide by the judge's decision.
Yeah, which went your way.
Yes.
So I would if I were you.
Yes.
What was that like, that moment that you felt that under your tire?
That's hard to describe. I have a dog of my own. I'm an animal lover, and it's too bad it happened. I hope the dog gets well.
Yeah, you knew right there that what had happened, right, at that moment.
Something serious happened, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, over to Harvey.
Okay, in a lot of cities, by the way, the leash law is 6 feet. That's the max. By the way, the plaintiff, they were talking about having the dog in the passenger seat in this case. You should know it's really dangerous to have a dog in the passenger seat of a car, because these airbags can kill a dog. It's not just children you have to worry about with airbags where stuff like this happens. It can kill a dog on impact. Something to really think about. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.